But alright guys, welcome back for part 4, Act 4. Now in this part, what we're going to do is we're actually going to get a few different items to make our progression so much easier. So, we've got 3 Chaos Orbs, so let's go ahead and spend them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be doing the Trial of Ascendancy. So, let's get started. So first off, what items do I actually want to get? So keep in mind, this is all optional. Oh, the Path of Exile trade website is down. Okay, I guess we're not getting any items before this. I wanted to get this item called Immortal Flesh, which significantly makes the game easier. But if you do happen to have the ability to open up the Path of Exile trade website, it'll probably cost you like 1 Chaos Orb. It's a super cheap item. The reason why it's so good is it gives you insane amounts of life regen. Like 100 life regenerated per second at this low level is phenomenal. In fact, we really need to replace our belt, our amulet. These are absolutely garbage, and we're still one-shotting everything. We can also get that. Oh, wait, hold on. The trade website looks like it's loading. It's grinding those gears. We'll keep it on the tab over here. But what we need to do either way is go back and actually I'm going to get rid of some of these flasks. And clean up our inventory while we do this, because we need to do this anyways. So sometimes with Path of Exile, you just accidentally pick up stuff, but at this point, I don't need to really pick up garbage just to sell. Let's see if this has 8 to all res is like 16 total res. There's an extra accuracy rating, which isn't bad either, but it's not that big of a deal. So I want to get 2 Tesalio sign rings. But yeah, it looks like the trade website is down, and again, day 1, it happens. So I'm going to extra skill point, and I'll go ahead and apply this over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into Act 3, because we've completed all of those trials, and now we are going to ascend, which is one of the coolest things that you can do in Path of Exile. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Act 3, go to the middle here with Ascendancy plaque. We're going to click on it, and we're going to go to the plaza. So we're going to grab this waypoint. This is a very difficult area. I highly recommend you guys to take your time. I'm going to do this fast though, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to click on it. We're going to click on the labyrinth. It says 33 is kind of the recommended level requirement over here. And we're just going to go straight up and to the right. Now in this area, you cannot portal back. If you die, if it's death, you got to restart this whole area. This is how this area works. Now we have an additional arrow. This is massive. Because now we shoot 2 arrows. The boss over here has a mechanic that will absolutely one-shot you. And you have to, I recommend playing with headphones so you can hear when like there's this wind-up sound that he has, and I'll mention it once we get to it. But just up and to the right usually is where like the first one is. There's a website called PoE Lab, and it kind of explains the path. But I recommend, if it's your first time, especially with the very first lab, because there's 4 labs that you have to do. The first one is going to be like the most important one because it's how you get a massive power bonus. So what you're looking for is an aspirant's trial. So you go from here. Here's kind of like how the map works. You go into an area, you fight like the boss, you do about 1/3 of the damage, he stops. Then you go to another area, you kill some stuff, and then you fight him at 2/3 HP. Then once you get him to 1/3, and then you fight him again. So basically you fight him 3 different times. But when you're on your way to fighting him, click on all these crafting recipes as you progress. Now, make sure you have some ballistas here, because ideally, what happens is he tries to one-shot the turret. Now, we could also evade the attack. I mean, we have 78% chance to evade. His stats might be a little different, but
You are relentless.
make sure you throw that on him. Oh, we got a unique. So pretty much just shoot once and move. Don't get too close in range. That slam will kill you if it lands. When he jumps up in the air, make sure you're pretty much moving the whole time. Yeah, just shoot once, move, and you should be okay. But if you die on it, don't worry. The first time I was doing these like labs, it was just painful because you have to know how the boss kind of works. And when you're playing melee, it becomes infinitely more difficult. Going back to like what we were talking about earlier, someone was asking me like Act 1, like why don't I play melee? Melee is really bad in general unless you really know what you're doing. So for beginner guides, I would always stay away from any melee build. Also, watch out for these saw blades that come out. These saw blades, they do a lot of damage if you're consistently on them. So yeah. But yeah, if you die here, it feels bad, but don't worry. The first lab, if you die, I mean, the whole thing takes like maybe 5-10 minutes, depending on how fast you're doing it. Like, I could rush these super, super fast. if you get the belt called Immortal Flesh, which is something I wanted to try to get for you guys so you can see how good this item is, and it makes this whole thing look like a joke. Like all the traps and stuff, you just regen it out. Upgrade your skills. There's other things that you can click on to like make the boss a little bit easier or kill to make the boss weaker, but it's really not that important right now. The most important thing is just defeat the boss. That's that slam. See how we're barely on the outside of it? If that hit us, it could be death. So yeah, you can kill these because it gives it says resistance. Can't even read the full text, but
pity the emperor who sits alone.
But yeah, we're on the final one. The final one is the most difficult. And if you do die, you have to do this whole thing over. But we're only like 5 minutes in here. And hopefully the trade website will be back up. But if you find it too hard and you're dying on it, just get an Immortal Flesh. And you can just keep on doing the campaign until maybe you can get like an Orb of Alchemy or a Chaos Orb to afford it. But, or you can go back to the previous acts if you really want to, if it's like too hard. But we're going to hit these levers. There's multiple levers that we actually need to hit for this, and take this slow. Okay, I know I'm doing it like real rush, do it as fast as possible. But I've been playing this game for a long time, so I'm confident that I can do it. But with Immortal Flesh, you just walk through everything. Don't get hit by those. Those will like hit you, and then you'll start to bleed, and you can die very, very easy. Because you can get stunned by it, and then if another monster comes by, hits you, it's a GG reset. Alright, so now we're in the domain crossing. You can always click on these little things right here, the current location, and you can see where you're located. Because sometimes you'll get put into the side, and you kind of want to just go straight across on the first one. And we're kind of looking to go straight to the right. And these little spikes over here will hit you and slow you down. So try not to get hit by them, but sometimes it's just, you're going fast. Those porcupines, though, if you see any of those, don't get in kissing distance with them. Like, stay far away, because when they die, they explode, and there's a bunch of shrapnel that comes out. And sometimes what happens is, if you get too close and you kill them, you actually eliminate yourself. There's also a bunch of secrets in these trial of ascendancy areas, or I should say the lab is what it's officially called. Now, there are more mechanics. Some of these will give you a buff, and the buff will last the duration of the zone. Some of them will give you a really cool reward if you complete these little like puzzles. And there are really complex puzzles, ones where like I don't even know how to do them 100% of the time. It's kind of like a game called Lights Out, where you open up this switch but it closes this door, and you have to find which switches open up which doors in a certain order. And yeah, there is that to it as well. Okay, now we open up this. Is this where the reward is over here? Should usually be a reward in each one of these. Where is the reward? There usually is some sort of reward on these. Oh, here we go. It's the Mysterious Dark Shrine. So, what do we get with it? I don't know. It says, "It's our potent little gift from our primitive past. Movement ceases to tension mounts. Movement ceases tension mounts." I'm guessing it gives us some like movement speed or something. Some of these will last for the entire the duration. But we're already moving pretty fast, too. Alright, so let's see. So now we're over here. We want to go over here, so this is the wrong area. We actually have another skill point. What am I going to put this skill point into? We get extra life. It's not bad to get a little bit more life. Plus, there's another 50 life. But remember, we have to stay at above accuracy rating. So our current accuracy rating is 1,750. So we are like 1,000 over. So we're good. We can get more HP. There's also... I really do want to get this extra arrow because it really helps out. So I'm going to actually push for that, or get more HP. I mean, I'm already one-shotting everything, but the extra arrow will make our clear speed even faster. So I'm going to prioritize getting that, and then we're going to get more HP here. There's more HP there, and get more survivability. Alright, Aspirant Shroud. Here's where we needed to go.
An aspirant can afford.
And if you want to refill your flasks, you can go into like the side area, kill a bunch of stuff, and come back, and then you'll have your flasks ready to go. If you really want to, you can also get a granite flask. You can get something that has high armor. Izara hits really hard for physical damage, so if that really helps out with your build. Although we are evasion based, We can throw like, some more armor scraps in here. Maybe that extra 1% dodge chance will really come in clutch. But I'm going to upgrade my Roth's Reach bow because it's pretty much going to be used towards the end of the game, I'd say. Okay. So some of these areas will have a bunch of traps. These might have... The Dark Shriner might have disabled the traps. These get way, way more difficult as you progress. Yeah, watch out for that slam. You kind of see him do a jump. There we go. That's his slam attack. He's doing another like slam attack. Just shoot once and then move. If you see him jump, move the whole time, because you don't want to have to do this over again. But like I said, this guy can one-shot very consistently. Especially since our build has no armor. And he's going to drop a treasure key. Let's grab the key. And there really isn't anything here that I really want. Other than if there was an amulet, that's what I would look for. I don't think there was an amulet. Our helm is kind of bad too. Is there a tricorn? There's certain like helmets that have like a higher chance to roll certain colors, but it's fine. Nothing here. The most important part is touch this over here, the Altar of Ascendancy. We want to go Deadeye. You can literally pick whatever one you want, and you can still make a good build. But for the sake of your beginner player, just select the same one because it'll make more sense. He's not supposed to talk this much. The server's broken day one. Okay, but. So in my tree now, I have a mini tree in my tree, and I click on this, and it's going to open up, and I'm going to have more things to choose from. Now I have some options. What do I actually want to go for? Focal point. If eventually I'm going to have my mark automatically casted, but this is actually a pretty decent one to get. I used to get it at the very end. I used to get Tailwinds first. So Gathering Winds grants you Tailwind, and that gives you extra action speed, which is a multiplier, multiplicative. I can't speak. It's a multiplicative modifier where it modifies all of your things times that value of 8%. So it's actually quite massive. So this one is one I like to go for in the very beginning. Ricochet is really good if we didn't have Roth's Reach. We can eventually swap off of Roth's Reach if we want to and get a bow that just has a massive amount of extra damage. But I can use this until the next rotation, and I want extra movement speed because action speed grants us move, attack speed, cast speed, everything. It's really, really good, and I like this one the most. So this one is what I would say is the best. So I like this one first because it increases our movement speed, and we want to get through the campaign as fast as possible. So I want to get Gathering Winds, then we get Ricochet, and then Endless Munitions, and then the last one I get is Focal Point. You get 2 points each time you do this, and the final one I always get is Focal Point because it only works on your marks, and I want to automatically have my marks activated. And then on top of that, since we killed the boss, he drops a treasure key, but you can also get more treasure keys if you do a little bit of the side areas. But you can open up a chest. Which chest should you choose? I don't know. It's kind of just random. Just open one. We've got a heavy belt. There's probably a bunch of other items that drop, but wait, it's a lapis amulet. I need a much better amulet. All right, so let's see. Oh, this is actually gives me some damage, but let's see if that heavy belt is worth. It gives us extra strength, armor, extra life. Okay, hey, usable. Not quite the level of Immortal Flesh, but I'll take it. And then there's also a font. So what does this do? It says trigger Word of Grave when your skills or minions kill. So what is Word of Grave? You can Google it. Most of these things don't really do too much. They just do a small amount of damage. They have maybe an 8-second cooldown, but they're a modifier on gloves. It will modify the level required for the gloves, so keep that in mind too. It says level 32. If I wanted to throw this in, I could click on this and enchant it, and it has a free extra bonus ability. Again, if I want to know what trigger of Word of the Grave, I would just go to Word of the Grave PoE. I would just type that in, and then something on the wiki fandom. Oh my gosh, the websites are slow today. Okay, here we go. So what does it do? It summons 3 Icy Skull minions that explode at the end of the duration. What's the damage of it? I don't know. Base duration is 5 seconds. I don't know how much damage it does. It's really not that big a deal. The helmet enchant actually matters. The boot enchant matters. The glove one is probably one of the weakest ones, but you get it on this is the very first lab, and we're going to be doing 4 of these. So once you're done with that, make sure again you clicked on the Altar of Ascendancy, you did your little fountain thing if you wanted to do it, you use your keys because once you exit, that's it. So now that we're done with this, we are going to go to Act 4. But this is like the start of Act 4, and you want to do this because now we're going to go even faster, which is amazing. So, starting off with Act 4, I got some notes over here on like what we need to do. Let's go here. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, where's the... I have so many tabs open up for PoE when I play this game every single time. Okay. Oh, the trade website is still trying to load. All right. Let's see if we can go and a trade website's back up. Okay, so 2 rings that we can get to Salio's sign would be excellent, but I'm going to remove my rings first to make sure I don't have some like strength or some sort of requirement that I wasn't hitting. But I'm going to look for an amulet that has... I can get... Actually, we could just get Immortal Flesh anyways. The reason why I like it for leveling, I think it's one of the best leveling like uniques in the game. Prism Weave is really good as well. Immortal Flesh. Now, the important thing with Immortal Flesh when you search for it is you want to have... it starts off with a negative. So you want the maximum amount of negative resistances to be... I don't know if you can put negative here. Negative, I think it's 15 is the best roll. Like if you wanted the best roll, let's see if we can do this. So as minus 24, we want minus 15, and I'm just gonna do it this way. Actually, we can just do it like this. Think about it now. We can just do 1 Chaos Orb, and I want the lowest number. Oh, really? Okay, so the cheapest Immortal Flesh is 2 Chaos Orbs. It's just really good for leveling, though. Ideally, we'd try to get a 15, but it's okay. We don't have to get this one right now, but for the labs, these are excellent because here's what it does. So it gives us almost like 100 life. It gives us, look at that life regen. 200 life regen, and then 9 mana regen, and then minus 42 physical damage taken from attacks. It's so good. It really is for leveling. But the other alternative option is Prism Weave. This is really good. It should be like 1 Chaos Orb as well, but I'm going to buy this if I can because it's really, really excellent. So the thing that you're looking for on Prism Weave, you can get the extra resistances, but I only want to spend 1 Chaos Orb on this. So maximum 1 Chaos Orb. There's only 1 listed. It's literally the bottom of the barrel in terms of rolls. Okay, let's go to 2, because that is... Wow, there's literally only 1. It adds so much damage, though. Let's just get rid of it. There's only 1 listed. I could resell it easily if there's, you know... Let's see if we can get it. And if the guy's AFK, no problem. We'll go... we can get Tessalio's Sign. That's going to give us massive damage and survivability. So it doesn't look like this guy is respawning. It happens. But we got Tessalio's Sign now. This is the next thing that I want. So the reason why this is so good, it gives us massive evasion rating, flat cold damage, and massive amount of extra damage to chilled enemies. So as long as I can chill the enemy, we get a massive amount of extra damage. Now, you can get... if I want to chill the enemy, I believe freeze counts as chilled anyways in the game. But you can get extra chance to freeze, shock, and ignite. I believe all you need to do is any amount of cold damage. I'm going to double check on this though for you guys. So chilled is activated inherent to cold that applies a slow. Okay, so I believe in order to inflict chill, this will occur regardless whether it is crit or not. Only cold damage is able to inflict that. Okay, so that's good. So as long as I have at least 1 cold damage somewhere on the build, like I have added cold damage, I'm pretty sure we get it. So double Tessalio's Sign will significantly increase our damage as it already adds cold flat damage. We get the flat cold right there. We could get 2 Tessalio's Signs, which will actually grant us another 600 evasion rating, which is not bad. Also, it gives us basically max out cold res, or I can look for 2 stone rings that have extra elemental damage added to attacks. But I'm actually level 37, so I would also want to put in, when I'm searching, for a maximum level of 37, if I'm looking for, like, let's say, some other rings. So what do I want on rings? So there's something called pseudo elemental resistance, which makes it so it's total amount of resistances. Actually, I could type in resistance, because we can actually get chaos res too, which is fine. So I'm just going to go to total resistance percentage, not the amount of resistances that exist. Oops, we got to go to ring for item category. So we'll type in ring, go here, and then we'll just hit search. And then I want to get as much as I can out of 1 Chaos Orb, and then I'm just going to go Total resistance, sort it by that. So 84 resistances with just 1 Chaos Orb. That's not too bad. If I really wanted to get as much resistance as possible, that'd be my go-to. Tessalio's Sign is, if you want damage, you can get a Tessalio's Sign. I can get one of these, one Tessalio's shot. Let's see if we can also get elemental damage to attacks. And let's go total resistance. And this one's still 1. That's not bad at all for like 1 Chaos Orb. Ideally, it would also have life. Like if I was to add, let's say like life, maybe like 20 life would be a reasonable number. And let's see. This one has how much life? 26 life. It's like okay. There's 58 life on that one, and it gives us 69 to all res extra damage and increased fire damage. Like some of these are really good for like 1 Chaos Orb. I'm trying to look at the item that I really need a desperate upgrade for. I mean, both of these rings are pretty bad overall. What's our current resistances? Our current resistances are not that bad. I would just need to get like fire and lightning. But if I remove both of these rings, I can see that I just need like 20-ish resistances, and we'll be okay. I'm just gonna go pick up this one that has like 58 life. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab this one. It's a 1 chaos. It's fine. We'll go and pick up this ring, and hopefully we can get this ring off this guy. And if not, no worries. But I still want another amulet. Now I do want an amulet that has an enchant, which I'll show you guys what that is in a second. After we get this ring first, because I'm going to see what our resistances look like with this ring. So ideally, I want a ring that has at least like 30 lightning resistance. I'm going to type this in also, because I actually want it to have like 30 lightning resistance. And we can bump this up to maybe like 35. Okay, let's see what comes up here. Okay, we have increased cast speed. This for 1 Chaos Orb is not bad. There's how many are even here? So you can see 22 results. 3 mana per enemy kill. That's not too bad. If there's any like regenerate life per second. Oh, for 1 Orb of Alchemy. Do I have one? Okay, we got this guy. Okay, so let's go. Oh, he's in a certain area. So earlier on, 1 Chaos Orb, that'll be totally fine. Alright, so we're going to click on his hideout, and we're going to go to the hideout. And this one was the Vapos? Okay, for 1 Chaos. So we get this ring, and then bam, we'll be A-okay on our survivability. It's going to give us the extra 58 life, and now our resistances are almost perfect. They don't need to be perfect right now. But later we do want to get as close as we can to perfect resistance. Now that I've gotten this ring, I'm going to look for one more offensive ring. So I'm going to put the extra elemental damage to attacks. I want the flat number, and we're going to look for life. So we want life, and we want elemental damage to attacks. We could look for more stuff, but for only 1 Chaos Orb, I want just as much damage as possible. Winter Weave over here. Well, that's not too bad. Increase. Oh, the effective chill is reversed. Increase movement speed while ignited. Get some life, some cold res. I'm not even looking for res, but that's not bad. That actually is more than Tessalio's Sign. But Tessalio's gives you another bonus based off of the effect of. I mean, I guess that would make us go even faster. But this is not a bad ring also, just to get some flat damage. Let me compare it with Tessalio's. Tessalio's adds 40 to 60 cold, though, which that'd be just like, what, 50 plus, like, you basically can add both the numbers and divide it by 2 if you want to get, like, the average. And this also gives us a chance to freeze, which actually is not that bad as well. But, yeah, Tessalio's gives you way more, but this gives you extra life as well. And it has max life, and it's 52 life. That's not bad. But this one also gives us some defenses because it's evasion rating. And remember, we want to keep our HP lower than our accuracy rating. So there's a lot of times with Path of Exile, there's multi-tiered things that you want to factor in. I'm just going to keep another Chaos Orb. What I'm going to do now, though, is I need to get an amulet that has mana regen. Increased mana regeneration rate. Or we could get that. Let me see if I can find a Immortal Flesh for cheap. No, okay. So there's no Immortal Fleshes for 1 Chaos. Is there 2 Chaos? Oh, that's because it has these things checked in. So we'll just reset that. What's the cheapest Immortal Flesh? Oh, it's because I put in the ring category. Let's just reset it. Anytime you type in any like modifiers that will always save them, so you'll have to just click on the Path of Exile trait. Okay, so the cheapest one is 1 chaos, but this one is a really bad roll. Like, I don't want a negative 24. Let's see, I think right now we have 2 chaos orbs, so I want the best resistance. Negative 17 is not that bad. The difference is 2. That has a pretty large roll from 200 to 350, but the thing that I care about more is honestly this mana regen. I think for 2 Chaos Orbs, picking up this will be a fantastic upgrade. It'll let us just breeze through the campaign. The other option is to get a Prison Weave, which will give us massive damage. But I'm going to grab one of these, and look, 200 life regen. That's massive. Let's go ahead and grab this one if we can, and I'll show you guys how easy the game becomes if we happen to have this specific item. So right now we're just kind of waiting. All right, this one gives us better res. Okay, so that guy's maybe AFK. We can go to the next guy, whisper him. Hopefully we can get this one for 2 Chaos Orbs. If not, we whisper the next one. But the next one up is 23. And I don't want a negative 23 res. I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world. Let's see what the cheapest one is. Oh, okay. They might have all been bought out. It's okay, though. We can come back later and we can check in. But I do want an upgrade right now. So we're going to go look for an upgrade. And this time I want an amulet. So we're going to go to the amulet. Now this is a little bit different. We want it to be maximum level, requirements max 37. And I also want to put in the stat filter here. I think it's enchanted. Oh, what do they call it? What do they call it? It's somewhere in here. I thought it was. There's talisman. I wanted to have like the enchantment. Let's see. So what it's called? You can get talismans. Oh, crafted. I think if you hit. No, it's not fractured. I know how to do it on Peewee.trade. I don't know if this website still exists anymore. Oh. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. So, you can get an enchant. I mean, I know how to search for the... you can do allocates. Can I just do that? And that works? Okay, here we go. So, now when we search, all of these items will have an enchant on them to have a notable on the tree or off the tree. Basically, it can have any of these bigger nodes. It'll just be on the amulet. So, it's massive. Okay. So that's what we're trying to do right now, is trying to look for an item that's also, hold on, I gotta also specify that in this filter that we're only looking to pay like 2 Chaos Orbs. And let's see if we can find anything good. So Master of Blades, it gives me physical damage reduction, extra physical damage. Juggernaut, this one's actually okay. It gives us extra armor and max life. Survivalist, I believe I already have that one put in, so it's not gonna double up on them. Extra endurance charge. Spell damage leached, increased crit strike chance, fire, cold damage, enemies ignited or chilled by you have 5%. It gives me dexterity and increased damage, and increased life, extra evasion rating. It's like not that bad, but it's still overall not what I would want in an amulet. So what do I want in an amulet? Per second. Okay, let's see if we can get just some mana regen per second in this category. Oh, crafted, we can just hit any. I don't think there's going to be any. Oh, none. You can't get flat. Sometimes certain things you can't get flat mana. Oh, that's explicit. So let's see if there's any other things. I guess you can craft on it. I don't know if anyone's going to have any of those crafts on it. Okay, so let's do. If we just type in the word mana, maybe we can get. Regenerate. Is this the keyword? No? Okay. That's it. Sometimes they're in a very specific category, whether it's like an implicit or something. So let's see. We want to do more mana. Physical attack damage leech. You get leech. Okay. We do increased mana regenerate. And see for 1 Chaos Orb. So you can see there's 2,000 magics. Let's go ahead and add life. Usually what it comes down to, a lot of stuff, you just want to have life and resistance. Total resistance. Let's see what we can get. Still, we got 200. Okay, great. So for the life, let's go with like 30 life. Total resistance, at least like 30. And let's see what comes up. There we go. Now we have 13 results. Much easier to sort by. Now we have this one looking nice because it has that extra damage here. Increase mana regenerate. All right. I want the total to be at least... what's our current one so I don't go down? I mean, honestly, I'm just going to get Mortal Flesh. Sometimes you don't have to get an upgrade. Like, I do kind of want Mortal Flesh. I'm going to go back to Mortal Flesh because I think it's just much more valuable. Getting that 10 regen is just going to be so much nicer. Can we whisper this guy for 1? This is a good deal. It's 17 for 1. If we can get this one, that'd be awesome. But sometimes we trade, and it's good that, like, sometimes people don't respond so you guys understand. You're not by yourself when you think that, like, it's just taking forever to get certain trades. I think that guy's AFK. It's fine. We'll just go see if we can get another upgrade on our amulet.
What do you need now?
Let's go to the NPC. Let's go and start. Let's go start at this act. I know there's a lot of trading, and sometimes I will trade for like hours on PoE. Like you can sit there and have a lot of fun for a long time. But right now there's really nothing. I'm just gonna throw this on it. Let's see. It gives us extra dex. Whatever. Let's just throw it on. Okay, sure. I mean the thing is that the item level was so low and there wasn't another one. It's fine. No big deal. So right now, we're going to try to go up to the top, and it's going to be like, oh, it's sealed. We can't go. So this is basically right now what are we in? Like 30 minutes, and we're just starting Act 4. I guess we did do the Trial of Ascendancy. But what you got to do in the very beginning is go to the Dried Lake quest. So the first quest that we got to do is we got to go to the Dried Lake, and we're going to go all the way to the bottom. Just keep on going down. And there'll be a boss that drops an item that lets us go to the next area.
I'm not up to that just yet.
I think it's about right here. Here's full.
Poor corrupted creature.
Okay. We got the crafting recipe, and we can go right back into town. And that item that he drops allows you to go to the next area.
Can't see why I'd want to do that here.
Now we get to go to the mines. The crafting recipe, nice. I love how our damage is just so strong still. We're going to get way more elemental damage as well. And if we got that belt called Prism Weave, we would actually get even more insane amounts of damage. Because our belt needs an upgrade for sure. So now we're in the level 2 mines, and there is a spirit that we're looking for over here, which will actually grant us a skill point. This act is actually relatively short.
Feels like something stirring in its sleep.
It's a very fast act. So some of these you want to move away from as soon as you open them, because there will be some sort of trap. So this is the spirit that we're looking for. We got him, and now we talk to Tsune in town, and he will give us a skill point. But we're going to continue going down the mines. To the next zone. We go from mines level 1 to level 2. There we go, into the crystal veins. And then now we gotta basically collect 2 different little Kinder eggs. And once we get both of these, we will be able to go to the next zone.
This is one deeply troubled mountain.
Grab these fusings. So I know we didn't really go over all the currency, and we will eventually go over them, so don't worry. If you have some of these items, like fusers, you can trade for orbs of alchemy as well. I'm not sure what the current rate is, but usually anywhere from 3 to 4 is about 1 chaos orb. So they're about worth like an orb of alchemy-ish. Orb, there's another orb of fusing. Okay.
The rapture device has absorbed its fill of heart.
Okay, so now we got this. Let's grab the waypoint, and now we're gonna go back into town and if I picked up... Oh, I think we picked this up before. I never identified it. But this is Flesh Eater. It's probably not really worth anything. So I'm just going to sell it for... If we sell unique items, or legendaries, if you play Diablo, it's kind of like the same thing. You get alchemy shards.
See.
So now we're going to go attack to Tsuni, get our reward, which is going to be a skill point.
I am your partner. You've done yourself proud.
Okay. So now that we've done this, we're going to get the extra arrow. So in 2 more levels, we get an additional arrow, which is going to be awesome. There's also, let's see, what else do we got? Increase attack speed for enemy in close range. That could actually be pretty cool. It doesn't say that there's a cap, but we are a bow character, so I mean, it's still probably not that bad. It's per enemy, so if there's a lot of enemies, more attack speed. Now, it doesn't really matter which when you go first. I'm just going to go KO him. It's a really cool boss.
This isn't the Karui that I know. I'm not up to that just yet.
And we can also eventually go back to Siosa and get a mark on hit. I don't know if I have an Orb of Alchemy because that might be what it costs. Well, ideally we're trying to look for a gem called Mark on Hit Support. And then that way I don't have to manually cast Sniper's Mark all the time. It's just going to automatically do it. Now it lowers the effectiveness of it. Like it's not like a good one. It gives you like a lower one. Oh, I didn't even have my auras activated. We're still rolling through content. I mean, the only thing I need the precision for is accuracy because it's not going to give us crit anymore, which is fine. But by the time we finish Act 4, we will also gain the ability to get a Golem. And the Golem is going to be a very nice upgrade because it's going to give us more accuracy. It gives us extra crit too, but really just there for the accuracy. Gotta kill the enemies and just kind of move along with KOM stream. Eventually there'll be a boss. This area is actually quite large though, but you have to look at every single little sliver because there's sometimes where the path is opened by just a really tiny area. Alright, so we're halfway done with this area basically. Got the waypoint, but we don't need to come back here, so if you don't get the waypoint here, it's one of the waypoints that's not super necessary. Yeah, we're still doing good though. As long as you're still 1 to 2 shotting things, you're fine. But if you're lacking in damage, 2 to Salio signs is excellent. And Orb Alchemy, nice. So I think we should be able to get that mark on hit support. If we need to, we can drop the ballista, or is anything else missing some sockets? I mean, our helmet is pretty bad. Some of those things will explode, so be careful on them. It's called Molten Shell. So this is KO. He's actually really easy, but he just looks really cool. So he'll usually jump in the fire, and we might be able to cycle him before he does it. Okay, he did. Sometimes he'll go into the fire, and there's going to be a bunch of AoE, and you can just move when he's doing it. But we got one of the pieces of the puzzle. We're going to get the red and the blue egg, and basically combine them. And if you want to get rid of them in your inventory, just talk to Dahlia, and she'll hold it for you. Next skill point, we're going more attack speed because we're going to get this additional arrow. And we're going to go to Daresu's Dream. And if you look at the top right, it'll always tell us what the monster level is. And that's helpful because we are level 39. So we are in a sense, over-leveled, which is okay. You just don't want to be too far. Like, as long as you're within, like, 3 to 5, you'll get enough XP. Okay, we got another upgrade. Life flask. Okay, cool. There's the Crucible, but we don't need it. Not till we get towards the end. I know some of the items apparently they can have a modifier that sells it for like a divine orb or a chaos orb, but I don't know if it's gonna be worth it. I mean, maybe we should try some more of those and just go halfway up each time. Because you go fully all the way up, yeah, we learned that the hard way in Act 1. Let's go top, right. Ooh, there's a nice big pop on that one. Yeah, mark on hit support will be great. And after this, we can go try to get it. And if you can't get it now, don't worry. I don't know what it costs off the top of my head. I'm guessing maybe like an Orb of Alchemy. Most skills in the game will cost like up to an Orb of Alchemy. There are more different exceptions, but for the most part. Got boss over here. He melted real fast. When do I start getting some good loot? I mean, I already have good loot. I got 2 Chaos Orbs. I got Ross Reach. I have like basically the setup. I could use a better helmet for sure, but there really isn't like an insanely huge upgrade for a helmet right now. I mean, I can get a helmet that's a stat stick, and what a stat stick is anything that gives you just a bunch of life resistances, because our current helmet is like a nothing. It gives us extra accuracy, which is usable. Some areas, by the way, will have doors that open after you kill the enemies. Sometimes they'll be dead ends. Let's go to the arena. Throw down those artillery ballistas. Get some extra clear. Ooh, something that did really big damage to me right there. Did you guys see my HP? See, if I had Immortal Flesh, that wouldn't have happened. I'm going to see if we can get Immortal Flesh. Because 200 life per second, oh, it's insane. And then we'd get another stat stick ring to just have resistances. Because Immortal Flesh has a downside of giving us negative resistances. Oh my, this thing is insane. And it's crazy in terms of tankiness. This is like, oh my, that was crazy strong. It was accurate too, so like even though we have like a 76% chance to not get hit, he's hitting everything because he was more accurate. And so accuracy rating in this game, if you don't have enough accuracy rating, which will never be a problem with our build, is that you will not be able to hit the target. Pew 2 should get controller support. PoE already has controller support. If you want to play with controller, just throw it in. So with this area, you just want to go as fast as possible towards the end. The gate opens up, just go in it. Now we are at the Reso. Oh, we're killing this guy real fast. Alright, so don't stand in the little things that have, you see how there's these little tornadoes that have swords in it? Don't stand in them, it does AoE damage. That's the only real thing that you gotta like keep a lookout for. And also when he gets onto one knee, don't fight him. You just, like this, see how he's like this? Got him. Oh, it's like 1 more HP. Yeah, I definitely want to get Immortal Flesh. That will be an excellent thing. Okay. So now that we're done with that, so grab Immortal Flesh. We'll probably get another amulet that gives us way more damage, and the reason why is because Immortal Flesh gives us all the regen we need, basically. Alira plus Immortal Flesh plus these 2 skill points, massive. And then now we're gonna get way more damage, or we get more HP. But I need to, again, make sure my HP isn't going up too high. So there's 2 things we can do. So I'm going to give the egg to Dahlia, and she's gonna have this laser. You can just click on it to open up. You don't have to wait for the whole thing, just in case you want to do a speed run. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back, and this is optional, but I want to go back to the library and see if Siosa has mark on hit. So the reason why we do this library quest, and even though I said it was optional, I highly recommend it, is because it will allow you to buy a lot of gems. So you can see they're sorted really nicely here, which is awesome. So we can get added lightning damage. I'm probably just going to buy one like later that's higher level, but you can buy a bunch of the gems that you may want to try out, whether you want to do fire, whatever the case may be. I think it's excellent to be able to choose whatever skill that you may want to select. There's not really any skills that I personally want to try out because I've tried them all out. I actually went through every single skill in the entire game before. I really like this new one, that Mana Forged Arrows. That one's a newer one. But there's another thing that I want. It's called Mark on Hit. So Mark on Hit is obtained, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty soon. You can always go to PoeDB.tw, and this is the website. Let me show you. So you can see over here it says, after we do the Eternal Nightmare, Act 4, this is the NPC, all classes can get this specific thing. So I know it's somewhere in Act 4, but sometimes you can get them via quest, you can get them as a drop. Most times people just buy it via the NPC vendors. Okay, so we cannot get that, but let's see if we can get that Immortal Flesh. So sometimes with this playthrough, you can fast forward, or actually the trade website's down again, so I guess we cannot do that. But this act, there really isn't too much. It's just, we did the skill point, and then it's just the final boss, basically. So this is going to be a relatively fast act. This is the first 2 acts in this game were like the longest. And this act, we spent like half an hour just trading items. By the way, these flasks will not stack the effects of like the movement speed. However, if this one gives us increased evasion, the other one gives us increased resistances. The increased resistances and increased evasion, those will stack, depending on if you already have the same one activated. But you could still get, oh, watch out for these guys. These guys will suck mana. And sometimes it can become a problem. We need to get a way better quiver too. Actually, that would be a massive upgrade too. Oh, this is perfect. There we go. Just thinking like we really need a quiver upgrade. Woo, upgrade. Nice. So I can get extra damage if I want to. I can get extra survivability. I feel like our damage is really solid, but for extra survivability, I'm gonna get some extra life. But I gotta check out, make sure right now my accuracy rating 1,700. Okay, so we're good. No problem. How would it compare PoE to Lost Ark? Lost Ark feels more like an MMO. Like it's got like daily logins. Like you gotta do this. I've never liked daily logins in an action RPG. I don't think that. I can understand like Diablo's world boss. You can't just keep on just doing world bosses over and over, like because that'd be too good for like rewards. So maybe like the setup that they have it right now is where you get like once a week you get like a bonus for completing it. I think that's okay. But I don't know if they're doing like the world boss spawns in every day or every week. I think it should just spawn once every few hours, but you can only get the reward, let's say, once a week or something. That way you still can do it on your own time, so you don't have to play around their schedule. So I never liked that setup with games. Like, to be on at this exact time if you want to do this thing. Alright, so anyways, important thing. Piety. When she does this, like, 360 laser, just shoot and move. It's pretty slow. If you copy, you know, some of the items that I have, I always prioritize movement speed for reasons.
You've just earned yourself some bigger prey, Huntress.
Okay.
Listen, it was Melanie.
Okay. So now we gotta collect some parts. So we go to the harvest.
Every crime against nature imaginable.
And now we could probably replace our gloves. I mean, it's really hard to beat these gloves for early levels, but I still prefer Immortal Flesh over any of these options right now. Because like I said, almost getting 300 life, or even like 200 life per second, right? That basically gets around any like damage over time. So make sure you have enough room, because these items actually take up a lot of room. So there's 3 like mini bosses that we have to eliminate. And these mini bosses drop an item that you have to pick up. So this is Doedry. So in Doedry, there's a Venn diagram. And you basically do not want to stand in where they overlap. They all give you some sort of negative effect. Some of them make you move slower, take less damage, or take more damage, deal less damage. Just stand in one at a time, you'll be fine. Which one is the best one to stand in? Doesn't really matter too much. It rotates, so you're not going to be able to sit in one spot and only have to deal with one. So just stand only in one, though. You'll get it done. I mean, it took us, what, like 10 seconds? Not even. Okay, there we go.
Your kind is nothing but scars, Malagaro.
Alright, let's do one of the crucibles here. We haven't done this in a while. I can't unfortunately do that one, so we're going to select this one. Or, can we just get any weapon? The reason why I want to do any weapon is because, I don't know if we have to identify it, is because I want to see what it gives us. I almost want to just max it out, but I learned last time that it's not smart. So, like, see, I stopped doing that, and it still goes up a little bit more. It's fine, though. So XP, 71. Okay. We'll start doing those a little bit more often now, because I know how it works. I just went literally to the first node, because I genuinely thought, you know, why wouldn't you go to at least the first node? That wouldn't make any sense. So I guess you can go for partial of one. Get the waypoint here. It's important that you get the waypoint, just in case you mess up on this boss. The reason why I say that is because there's a person that you have to talk to at the very end.
The most beautiful of nightmares together. Creation. Usually the concern of nature, isn't it? Not anymore.
So this is Gale Force. It's part of like when we ascend into the next class. So how this boss works is you fight Malachi, and then you fight Piety. So when he does the tentacle move, don't stand in the tentacles. That's all you really need to know for this boss fight. And it's pretty easy, just stand behind him. And then you have to click on this little thing.
Now, let us see if you truly understand what it means to be Nightmare.
But anyways, going back to your question about comparing PoE to Lost Ark. PoE is more of an actual true action RPG. The thing is like an isometric dungeon crawler is what I should say.
I gave my life.
So once you kill him in the first phase, on the second phase, try not to get hit by those do damage. But you'll do damage to him, and then he'll go to these little like hearts, and then you can't damage him until you kill the heart. So like right now, he'll go away.
Accept the gift of immortality.
And we pop the heart.
Nightmare is the true eternal. Why are you so in love with death?
Okay, maybe you can see if the ring is better. It's the only thing that could be a pretty decent upgrade. 14 Chaos Rest gives us some attack speed. So this one is like halfway leveled up.
The world that I love. Do you
Let's see if
really
that
think
Iron Ring rolled really good.
do that, Malachi?
We did not. So now we go over here. We got to go back to Highgate.
A predator. I'm watching you. You be
We
careful.
can talk to all the NPCs. And the important person to talk to at the very end is Oyun. Because, well, you get another option here. So you get Barrage, you get Greater Multiple Projectiles. That one's pretty good if you happen to have extra, like, damage and you're like, okay, I can sacrifice some damage to get 4 additional arrows. But remember, you're going to be dealing 35% less projectile damage. So there's a huge downside to it. As far as this goes, which one do I think is good? I don't really need any of these, to be honest. Some gems you can vendor off to other players. It doesn't matter though. I'm just gonna select this. Just the quest is done. Now, when you go to Oyun, you can actually get a golem. This is actually pretty massive. So you have some options. If you mouse over the golem, it'll tell you exactly what it does. This gives you extra physical damage reduction, also increased minion life as you level them up. But the ice golem is usually the one I want to get because it gives you increased accuracy. It also gives you increased crit strike chance. The flame golem gives you increased damage. The stone golem gives you extra life regen. Then on top of that, you can also get tornado, which is actually a pretty nice thing to have. Snipe, I believe, is a newer skill that just came out. In terms of what I recommend you guys to get, I really like having stone golem because giving just this amount of regen is great. Ice golem is really great as well. Those are like the two ones that I would choose. Either stone golem if you want like more survivability. If you want more like accuracy and you need it, then ice golem is ideal. Because again, remember, we want to keep our accuracy as high as possible, and this one gives it 22%. I'm going to select the stone golem because I like the stone for now. This makes things much easier, and I'm going to get mortal flesh. And so pretty much that will keep us at full life, and at full life we get 30% increased movement speed and 30% increased attack speed. These are two uniques that are a full life mechanic. There's actually another node that you can take where when you're at 90% or more life, it counts you as full life.
I'm not up to that just yet.
I mean, look at this clear speed. It's just phenomenal. This is pretty much wrapping it up, this act. So we're just going to have to move. So once we're at the ascent, we're looking for this little, like, beacon at the top. Usually it's just up and to the left. Oh, you know what we can do? We can finish the thing. Oh, I didn't get to select. I want to go to the first thing. Alright, so we're getting this upgrade. There's a lot more like nasty modifiers. There's that ice prison. So I'm still using these totems, these little like siege artillery ballista ones. And the reason why is because they distract the enemy just like that. Okay, so now our thing has actually upgraded. So what else does it have? It has accuracy. Okay, so none of these really matter. So I think how this works is you do the first one so you can see what it has. This is like this doesn't matter. Terrible, like not usable for us. However, there are modifiers on certain items, and I don't know if it's based off of the item level, but I'm going to pick up some items and we will find out. I'm going to do the first tier on each one, And what I want to do is see what the reward actually is, because if I see that the reward says gives us a Chaos Orb or a Divine Orb, then I will go ahead and do it, if that makes any sense. So that way, I'm not trying to use the item, I'm basically trying to vendor it off. But this next one will be very nice. 10% increased life, and then we get another 50 extra life, and then we'll have 1,000 life, and that's going to be a decent amount, I think. Especially since we have so much evasion rating. But as much evasion rating as you can have, sometimes 2 enemies will hit you consecutively, and then that actually makes it a little bit more difficult. So can you not do it on unidentified? You cannot do it on unidentified items. I kind of want to push it. Should we go all the way? Where are we at? I want to see, like, if we go to the first tier, how hard is it? Is it going to be, like, impossible? Because the level 1 area one and the first act was just, it just felt like it was impossible. Okay, this is, like, doable. It's relatively difficult. But the other one was just, like, it felt like it was actually impossible. Dang, this thing is really nasty. Okay, we cleared it out. Okay, so let's check out our item. So we have Shock. Grants 15 life for enemy hit. Removes 2 of your mana. Oh. Well, this thing, unfortunately, is not very good either. Now, I'm wondering if vendors... Let's see what the vendor will actually buy it for. I don't know if vendors will give you more for it. But what I've seen before is that you can get, like, this item sells to a vendor for, like, a Divine Orb, which would be amazing. Because if we get a Divine or even just a Chaos Orb, it's just small little upgrades here and there. They add up. We desperately still need that better amulet, right? Okay. The answer is yes, we do. And one more important thing before we finish off this act is to get that mark on hit support. Because some of them, what's interesting in terms of game design, I thought this was always kind of strange, that you would buy it from the vendor in the previous act after completing the act that you just did. So like right now, we're going to have to go back to Act 4 to get the mark on hit support, which is something that I do definitely want. I'm talk to Lonnie for a reward. And I don't know what resistances we need if I remove this ring, because this is the ring that wasn't very good. So we need to get Fire and Cold. So I'm going to go to reward, Fire and Cold, so the blue and this one. This is the one we want. Let's see if it's good. The 2 stone rings are really good, and I recommend picking up all the 2 stone rings if you see them. Gives us increased cold damage, so it's like not terrible. Okay, this other ring was way better. I think this was Chaos Res too, which Chaos Resistance you don't really need to worry about too much until way later. Oh, just because it's all the shards, not a very good thing. Let's go do this. And this thing isn't really that special. It's elemental damage with attack skills, dex and int, more int. Okay. And wait, this is actually not that bad. But like we get a way better amulet. Way better. Okay. So that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for this one. However, oh wait, hold on. One more thing. We gotta go back to Act 4. This is why I was saying like the game design is very strange in this. Like you gotta go back after you defeat the boss, and now we can go get mark on hit support, which is this gem right here. Mark on hit. It costs an orb of alchemy. Bam. We're ready to go. So what we want to do now is we want to have Sniper's Mark attached to this. Now, where do we put Herald of Ice? I might have to drop it completely, and that's fine. I like the Mana Forge arrows a lot more anyways. We got Dash, Vitality, Momentum support. Actually, I don't even know why that's even there. I guess I was just leveling that up. It's all good, though. We're still leveling up Grace. And then now let's go to Act 5 and start Act 5 in the next part, though, because we're ending Act 4, so that's going to be Part 4, Act 4 of our playthrough. But next time, we'll be able to have mark on hit support. So what this does, I'm actually going to go look at some extra helmets, because this one, it definitely needs, it's overdue for a replacement here. We just need to get an item that has 2 green links, and then we're also going to be looking for specifically getting extra life, extra resistances, as I do want to get Immortal Flesh, like I've been talking about. In fact, maybe when I come back. Well, actually, what time is it? It's like an hour. Okay, so let's go see if we can get an Immortal Flesh. Immortal Flesh, the leather belt. Let's see if we can get one real quick so you guys can see the whole process. Like I said, I only want to spend one chaos orb. Let's see. Oh, that's a really good deal. That was listed 2 minutes ago. Minus 12. Let's see if we can get this one. Sometimes you can get good deals. Sometimes they get bought out pretty fast. If I have to spend 2 chaos orbs on this thing, though, I will, because it really actually helps out. I just don't want to get one that's super bad in terms of its negative resistances. Okay, this one's 2 chaos orbs. It's a minus 16. The lowest one that you can get is minus 15. So if we can get this one, that'd be cool. If not, well, the rest are all like minus 20. I want one that we can hold on to, because what I plan to do is get a what are our resistance? We're like 80, so we can go like minus 15, 20. And it won't really hurt, because I'm gonna replace my amulet. Actually, this amulet's not that bad. We will replace our helmet and then fix the resistances with a helmet that gives us enough resistances. So hopefully, okay, that guy didn't respond. But next time on the part 5, we will hopefully have enough to. Someone will respond. I'll show you guys the results. I mean, obviously, you guys know it's 2 chaos orbs. It's not like an insanely expensive thing, but it'll be a massive, massive upgrade. That or Prism Weave, but we need to get a better helmet. We've been rocking this thing for way too long. But anyways, thanks for tuning in for this part. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next part very soon. Peace out.